Hi guys, so I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be filming an empties kind of video. I wasn't actually intending to film a video anything like this, so I haven't kind of collected stuff over time. I've just had to dart around the house this morning and pick up as many things that are either completely empty and I'm just kind of hanging on to them for dear life, or that are kind of nearing the end of their lives, and I thought would be suitable to slot into this video. So I don't have too many products to talk about, but I'm just going to crack on anyway. So I'm going to start with skincare because that's where most of the products that I have come from, so I'm just going to pull them out randomly one by one, and the first thing that I have is this Sanctuary 5-minute thermal detox mask. I've spoken about this in my skincare routine video. I think that went up a really long time ago now and probably needs updating. But I absolutely adored this mask. I used it above like the Origins mask. I also have the Amore Fixer deep cleansing mask as well, which is obviously really pricey, and I think that this comes in at about £10 and you can quite often get it on offer as well, and I much preferred this to either of them. It does a really good job of drawing out any kind of impurities and any toxins from the skin, and if I were to be asked would I go and repurchase it, I absolutely would, because I just think for the price it's a fantastic product and I absolutely love it, and I'm kind of sad to see that it's nearly reached its end, so I might have to go and pick one up maybe even later today. Next up I have the Origins Ginseng Eye Cream, and as you can see this is completely empty now. I've absolutely used it to the last days and I really do get on with it quite well. I've never found an eye cream that actually really helps the dark circles or the puffiness. I've never found an eye cream that really kind of truly brings them down, and this doesn't either, but it's a really great option if you just want something to really hydrate the eye area and also to brighten it up. It's got a tiny little bit of sheen in it. Unfortunately it's all gone so I can't show you, but it's got a tiny little kind of sheeny pearlescent particles that really brighten up that area and just make you look a bit more alive and more awake, and I find that teamed with a really good concealer, this is a lifesaver. Would I repurchase it? I probably will. I haven't got an eye cream that I'm really enjoying using at the moment since I've run out of this. I've kind of kept the pot even though it's completely dry, and I definitely need to go and pick another one of these up soon. Next up I have the Korres Pomegranate Moisturising Cream Gel. I bought this in TK Maxx and I've used it pretty much every day since I got it. I use it as my morning moisturiser. I find that it's really hydrating. It's specially formulated for combination skin, which is what I have, so it doesn't emphasise any oily areas but it doesn't mattify the skin down so much that any dry areas are kind of suffering. It's a really refreshing moisturiser. It's got a lovely scent. Obviously it is pomegranate scented, and it's a cream to gel, so it just kind of sinks into the skin really quickly. I find that it makes a really good base for makeup. Would I go and buy it again? I'm not entirely sure. I think it's about £20 I think RRP. It is a really good moisturiser and I would say that it's definitely worth that money, but I kind of don't have that much of an attachment to it that I have to go and purchase it again. I find that there's a lot of moisturisers out there that do a similar thing, and even though I love this one I might give something else a go next. I then have the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Serum. This is quite pricey and admittedly I've kept it for quite a long time even though it is completely empty now. It's a really good serum and I would recommend it. I loved it when I first bought it and I had really quite bad skin. I had a lot of spots and a lot of redness and pigmentation and stuff like that, and that definitely helped with it, although recently I obviously haven't been using it as much because I've been wanting to kind of save it for days when I really need it, and I must say I kind of haven't missed it that much. My skin's got a lot better since I first bought this. They obviously have updated the formula for this, and I did go out and buy like a really small size of the new formula. I did get on with that quite well and I do really like it as a serum. If you have problematic skin then I would definitely recommend going and giving this a go, because for me, if you'd have asked me kind of way back when, is it worth the money, I would have 100% said yes, it's definitely worth the splurge. But for me now, I just don't find that my skin needs such an intensive treatment, and I don't find that I really have that much use for it anymore. My skin doesn't seem to be missing it particularly badly, so until it does I probably won't repurchase this again. I then have a product that's kind of skincare and kind of falls into loads of different categories, and that is coconut oil. I bought this massive jar from Sainsbury's for about £6. I think it is by Lily Bee and it is raw coconut oil, extra virgin, organic, just pure coconut oil. I absolutely adore it. I use it for so many things. I've used it every single evening since I first got it to cleanse the makeup off my skin. I also use it to shave with, shave my legs with. I use it in my hair sometimes. I just use it for so many different reasons, and I could not live without this now. I've still got a little bit left at the bottom, but I'm definitely going to need to go and pick another one up soon. I think I first got this maybe in like April, May or something, so it's lasted me a good 5, maybe even 6 months, and obviously it is a big jar, so you're going to get your money's worth out of it, and considering how much I've used this, I definitely don't mind paying the £6 because it is a miracle wonder product. I then have a few makeup products, and I think these are the only makeup products I have. I only have 3 because it takes me quite a long time to get through makeup. 2 of them are foundations, and I have 1 mascara, so I'm going to start with the mascara, and that is the Benefit They're Real mascara. I've got through a few of these in my time, and when I first bought it, I kind of had a bit of a mascara revelation. I thought that this was the best mascara that I've ever used, and this last tube that I've had I bought from Burts, as I usually do, and it seemed absolutely fine. And then after a little while my eyes started to get really irritated by it. It was quite kind of flaky, and it just made my eyes really sore and really red. So I went for a long time not actually daring to apply this, and I have to say that during that time I found a lot of cheaper mascaras like the L'Oreal Telescopic, not sure exactly what it's called, and the Max Factor Full Slash Effect. I'll put a link to both down below so you can go and find them, and I just find that they're probably better than this, to be honest. Obviously this is about £20, and for whatever reason it just doesn't seem to agree with me anymore. It does hold a curl really well, and if you can make it work for you, it's definitely worth it, but no, I'm definitely not going to be trying this again. I then have the Liz Earle Signature Foundation. This is in the shade Porcelain, which is 01, and I think this is the lightest shade that they do. For a long time this was my go-to foundation, especially in the colder months, because I have really fair skin anyway, and I find that in the colder months it gets so pale that it's really hard to find foundations that suit me and that match my skin, and this is without doubt probably the best match that I've ever found for those colder months when I don't have a tan at all. And it's a really good foundation. I do find that if you do have dry skin it might not work that well for you because it kind of clings a little bit to dry patches and accentuates them a little bit. But aside from that, it's a good foundation. It gives flawless coverage. I'd say it's kind of medium to full coverage, and it feels quite lightweight on the skin. Not really got a bad word to say about it, and if I can't find a kind of cheaper foundation that suits my skin tone when it does get colder, then I'll definitely go and repurchase this because it saved my bacon quite a lot during last winter. The final makeup product that I have to talk about is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and please ignore how dirty this bottle is. I never got round to buying a pump for it, even though I kind of promised myself that I would as soon as I first bought it, and it just never happened. So I've kind of kept pouring it out onto my hand and it's not gone too well. Unfortunately, I bought this when I was on holiday and I got matched to it when I was away, so obviously when I got back and my tan faded, it's not been the best shade match for me, which is why I've taken quite a long time to get through it, but I finally have, and it's a really good foundation. I bought it when I was having, again, quite a lot of skin problems, as I did the Estee Lauder serum, and my feelings on it are kind of similar to that, I have to say. If you do have problematic skin, and if you do have blemishes, spots, redness, etc. that you really want to cover and you want something full on, you want something that's going to last all day, you can't go wrong with this. It's a brilliant foundation, and I could sing its praises all day, but unfortunately I just don't really go for that kind of finish anymore. It's very matte on the skin and it doesn't ever look cakey, which is something that I will say about it, because it is so full coverage and it never ever looks like too much on the skin. But for me, I just don't find that I need that level of coverage anymore. I tend to go for a lot sheerer bases, and then I will kind of conceal anything with concealer afterwards if I need to. So I wouldn't go and buy this again, but if my skin ever gets bad again, this will be the one that I opt for. So lastly, I'm going to talk about hair care, and then I have one miscellaneous product that I'm going to tackle at the end. But first off, I'm going to talk about the Philip Kingsley Bodybuilding Shampoo. This is a really good shampoo if you have fine hair, limp hair, lank hair, as I do, all 3 of those unfortunately. Really builds up volume in the hair and makes the hair appear a bit thicker, and I've tried a lot of shampoos in the past past that's kind of make that promise, and I haven't found anything that works as well as this. Again, it's a little bit pricey, but I like to spend a little bit extra on hair care just because I do have so many problems with my hair, with it being really, really fine and not very dense at all. So I really, really like this, and I definitely would go and buy it again once I've got through some of the other shampoos that I have, because I'm hoarding a little bit at the moment. I then have the TG Catwalk Your Highness Root Boost Spray, and this is the kind of mousse formula that you just spray into the roots, ruffle it up before you blow dry or leave it to dry naturally. Completely up to you, obviously. I really, really like this. It smells gorgeous, as all of the Your Highness range do. It's got a really lovely scent to it. Although I do think that perhaps Schwarzkopf, I want to say it's Schwarzkopf, but I might be completely wrong, do like a cheaper version of this, which again is like a mousse that you spritz into the roots. So I might go and get that next time. I do really, really like the fact that you can spritz it into the hair, but I didn't find that this lasted me too many goes, and obviously it's about £12 I think, and if the Schwarzkopf one is any good, then I will obviously report back and let you know, because hopefully that's going to be a bit of a cheaper dupe. So finally I have the Dr. Bronner's Magic Soap. This is the Hemp and Peppermint one. I have actually poured some warm water into this to kind of revive it a little bit, because I had little dregs left and it was all stuck to the bottom, so I want to get a few more uses out of it. It's a really, really good soap. I use it to wash my makeup brushes, as a lot of people do. It's really gentle and it really, really does get rid of any makeup residue and leaves them feeling quite fresh, because obviously it's pepperminty. Other uses that I have for it, I do occasionally use it to wash my body. I have it next to the sink, so I wash my hands sometimes with it. I use it in my hair very occasionally, although it does tend to dry the hair out a little bit, so I would just kind of use it in my roots, and I find that if I do that I get serious volume and body in my roots, but I just kind of don't touch hands with it. That would be my advice. And I also use it if I have any clothes that are kind of hand wash only and I wash them in the sink. I always use this for them as well, and I find that that does a really, really good job. I'm definitely going to go and repurchase this again, and I've seen them in TK Maxx a lot lately, so I might go there, maybe get a different scent and try it out, but I couldn't live without Dr. Bronner's Magic Soap now. So that's it for this video. I really, really hope that you've enjoyed it, and I will see you guys soon.